A roadside restaurant beef between two iconic chain restaurants, the Crab Rangoon Renaissance, a seafood fast food chain that's gone chicken, and the latest dining trend of microdosing. Don't worry, it's all very legal, but it is outrageous. This is Outrageous Foods, where I dive into the weirdest, wildest, funniest stories in food. Buckle up, because this is going to be a wild ride. All right, folks. Prepare yourself, because this isn't your average food fight. This is Steak and Shake versus Cracker Barrel, and the beef is over a logo. All right, we all know now about the whole Cracker Barrel rebrand. They ditched the old timer. They ditched the barrel. They ditched the whole country store vibe for plain text, minimalist, corporate. It's the kind of logo that says, please enjoy our biscuits, which now come with a free side of venture capital. Oh, and Steak and Shake was not having it, and they fired shots online accusing Cracker Barrel of deleting personality. In fact, they literally wrote, at Cracker Barrel, they are deleting the personality altogether. Then they doubled down and said that the company should fire the CEO. So, why so salty? The real answer is money. The CEO of Steak and Shake, Sardar Biglari, has been trying to take over Cracker Barrel for years. Biglari owns 3% of Cracker Barrel. He sat on the board for years, and since 2011, he's run 7 proxy contests where he has tried to oust the CEO of Cracker Barrel, Julie Masino. He wants Cracker Barrel bad. What's interesting here is how this war is being played out. Granted, a big part of this had to do with a billboard that Steak and Shake put up, shaming Cracker Barrel for their rebrand fiasco. But there's another important weapon in Steak and Shake's tool shed: social media. Steak and Shake has taken to marketing itself to the MAGA Trump supporters, most notably when they announced that they now use beef tallow to make their french fries, because when you cook french fries in beef tallow, somehow that makes it more healthier than salad. But what isn't up for debate is the opportunity brands now have to market themselves in this current era of division, especially through social media. Now, Steak and Shake isn't the only fast food company who's throwing shade on social media. I'm looking at you too, Wendy's, but they are openly courting the MAGA movement. I guess that means ICE agents can eat there for free. Let's hope they don't ask too many questions about who's working in the back. Outrageous food rating? 10 out of 10. The Crab Rangoon Renaissance is real. The crispy cream cheese icon of every Chinese buffet has gone viral. There's Crab Rangoon dip, Crab Rangoon pizza. There's even Crab Rangoon egg rolls, which kind of seems obvious. It's like the 1950s met the algorithm. Originally invented at Trader Vic's, this was mid-century Americanized Chinese food at its finest. Now, Gen Z's calling it retro comfort food. Fine dining restaurants are doing versions with blue crab, microgreens, and aioli. Now, that might just seem like Crab Rangoon in a tuxedo, but I'm game. But this second coming of Crab Rangoon actually came in 2021 when a TikTok user named SlothGirl420, yes, that's her username, SlothGirl420, posted a video of her literally eating Crab Rangoons, and it literally got 20 million views, and TikTok just never let it go. Look, people love fried food, cheese, and anything you can dip all of the above into. So, you know what? I'm glad that Crab Rangoon is back. I actually grew up on this stuff in the 80s, and while the versions I had like no crab at all, like literally no crab, I am happy that Crab Rangoon has made itself a little bit of a comeback. And by the way, if someone wants to give me a Crab Rangoon and fill that sucker with blue crab or Dungeness, sign me up. So, outrageous food rating, Crab Rangoon Renaissance, we're going to go 7 out of 10, but it's a 10 out of 10 if you give me that blue crab version. Plot twist time. Long John Silver's, a chain you might remember for, fried fish, definitely those hush puppies, is trading in their anchor for a bucket of chicken. They're literally ditching the seafood logo and testing out a new name. LJS Chicken and Fish. Seafood costs are soaring, and fried chicken is the current king of fast food. So they're pivoting, and let's be real, when's the last time you caught a little bit of fried cod at Long John Silver's? It was always about the hush puppies. Now, before I start roasting the captain, let's get into a little Long John Silver's history. Long John Silver's first set sail in 1969, named after the swashbuckling pirate from Treasure Island. The idea was bring a taste of the seaside fish and chips to landlocked America, and it worked. By the late 70s, there were over 1,000 locations. And I remember these restaurants with their wooden ship decor, the rope railings. Apparently, there was a bell you would ring when you would get great service. I don't remember that, but I do remember this was premium fried fish Americana days, 80s. But times have changed. Fast food has firmly focused on burgers and fried chicken, and let's be real, fast food and seafood is a tough sell. Plus, seafood has just gone pricier. So now Long John Silver's is focusing on what's crispy, golden, and popular. Nope, not a golden goose, fried chicken. But apparently, we've been underestimating the fried chicken at Long John Silver's that's been on the menu for years. In fact, the senior vice president of marketing at Long John Silver's, by the way, what a job, has said that customers have been raving about the fried chicken there for years. So they are double downing on the fried chicken, not just on the menu, but in the name. And I also want to add this. Years ago, like 20 years ago, my wife, girlfriend at the time, actually brought me some Long John Silver's on a whim just because I hadn't had it in years. And I remember the chicken being pretty darn good. Okay? So I'm actually on board. I think they're doing the right thing. Look, I get it. It's all about survival. But the next thing you know, Red Lobster is going to be dropping burgers and Popeyes is going to be slinging shrimp scampi. Outrageous food rating, 7 out of 10. The seas are rough out there. All right, now it's time to get small. Literally, the latest trend in restaurant is microdosing. And no, it's not psychedelics. It's actually portion control. With dining prices hitting record highs, chefs are shifting from supersize me to minimize me. And while you might start to see single scallop entrees and full desserts by the spoonful, it's not just about recouping profits. Part of it is recognizing that customers want smaller portions. But this isn't just about dollars and cents inflation. It's about appetite inflation meeting appetite suppression. Over the last few years, the rise of GLP-1 drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy have changed the way a surprising chunk of Americans eat. These meds literally reduce hunger, so some diners are actually ordering less. That means less courses, maybe they're sharing entrees, and restaurants have noticed, and they've definitely noticed when it comes to their profit margin. So what do you do when you're a fine dining chef and half your clientele suddenly eats 6 bites of food? You adapt. You sell the experience instead of selling the idea of quantity. And some restaurants are going all in, and they are calling it microdosed dining, a wellness forward way to eat. Intentional indulgence, they'll call it, or appetite aware cuisine. Translation: small plates, big checks. Now, there's also a cultural piece to all this. Sure, there's been a few years of those viral mukbangs, but there has been decades of Americans doing buffet eating, all you can eat. And now the pendulum is swinging the other way. Turns out the new flex isn't how much you can eat, but how little it takes for you to be satisfied. But I'm sticking to this rule. If I'm spending $100 when I go to a restaurant, the last thing I want to do is hit a drive-thru on the way home. Outrageous food rating? 9 out of 10. Only in 2025 could microdosing go from mushrooms to meatballs. So there you have it. Roadside restaurant rage, crab rangoon, comebacks, pirates pushing fried chicken, and microdosing food. Outrageous? Always. So, which story blew your mind the most? Drop a comment below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more outrageous foods. And just remember, whether it's crab rangoon or a restaurant rebrand, there's always something outrageous cooking on this channel.